Jacelyn's voice, though. I'll talk about it. Oh,
Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
This ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh. With the 4/5 divide you in half.
Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to First Cut Live. We are here back with another weekly look into movie news, movie discussions, anything we can absolutely get into the First Cut Live. I'm here with the whole crew in the house, RB3 and Sabrina. How are we feeling today, guys?
We're good. How are you guys?
Good. We're about to break a lot of things down. We're going to talk about Spider-Man 4. We're going to talk about Beetlejuice box office and a couple of movies that have come out over the weekend as well. But before we get into all that, we have a very special birthday in the house. Another one. We're doing a birthday. It's your birthday. They ask me what I do and who I do it for. Sabrina's birthday, everyone. Round of applause.
I got something better than a round of applause. Hold up.
Oh, RB3's trying to pull something out. Oh, there we go.
Throwback.
Oh my god.
Sabrina, you are now closer to my age. How are you feeling?
Existential crises aside, I'm feeling really good. I'm super happy. Like, a lot of people probably don't know this. I mean, you know, I was gone from this channel for a while. I was gone from a lot of things. I was really kind of like overwhelmed with like my work life. And I took the last few months to really balance all of that out for myself. So I just like feel very good overall. I've just been doing a lot of self-care, focusing on hanging out with my friends, seeing you guys, which hello, all three of us this past weekend were in the same room for the first time in I don't even know how long. Like, truly boggles my mind how long we went without seeing each other.
Yeah, we won't give everything away, but we will say that we did karaoke and we got a karaoke room, which was a lot of fun. Sabrina, you did like, I don't know how many songs. I kept asking you, how's your voice? Because I lost my voice after 2. So I can't imagine how you kept your voice, but it was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, people kept handing me the mic, and I did like Every Time by Britney Spears, and that was one where I was like, I'm already out. I can't do this. I did Bring Me to Life by Evanescence twice, and nobody stopped me for some reason. Not a single person stopped me, but whatever.
What? How can we stop you with such a classic song, man? That's a bop. That's a whole banger. RB3, how'd you feel about singing over the weekend and having a little first cut karaoke night?
That was great, yeah, man. It was great seeing you. I didn't know Andres he could sing like that, man. He was killing it.
Oh, no.
He was killing it. You could
have, bro.
You could have easily made it in the 2000s as like an emo rock band. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, man, a whole bomb. That's what happened on stage. It's just a bomb.
No, your
just went off.
Rendition was absolutely phenomenal. But also, I want to give a shout out to the biggest surprise. Not really, but like I was just blown away every time she sang. Jacelyn.
Yeah. See that? That's a different story. Yeah.
She, like, I was sitting there. I was like, oh my god, am I going to tear up right now? Like, absolutely stunning vocals across the board. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, she was great. I mean, you know, I felt bad for like ruining her situations with when we did Lady Gaga and Beyonce. That was she, you know, and I didn't know I was gonna get so many parts. I thought there was more of a you know, I don't know. But anyway, that was my one karaoke situation. But yeah, she was great. She hit the Beyonce parts, amazing. And then also Janine the Machine. She's also amazing at karaoke as well. It was crazy.
Yeah, she could sing, man. It was definitely a lot of fun. You know who else? He's got some chops. He's got some chops. And I didn't remember from last time. Brandon.
Oh,
Brandon can sing, man. He can sing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Alex. We all know Alex.
Yeah, we know about Mikey. Alex and Janine, of course. Mikey.
But Brandon, that was like, yo, come on, Brandon.
Brandon could sing. Dorian could sing too. He didn't really show off as much because they didn't have his like #1 go-to song. But when you guys, you and Dorian RB3,
Yeah.
That one was really
Oh
good.
yeah, that one. Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, I forgot. I walked in halfway through that one. But yeah, Dorian was funny too because we saw him at Comic Con, and
Yeah,
he does always go for the exact same song every time.
he
Like,
does.
yeah.
We
Like
were there.
time. Yeah.
We did it twice in a row. 2 nights of karaoke at Comic Con.
No, literally, literally.
Still, it was a lot of fun. I had a blast. I wish I could have done a song with you, RB3. You left before then, so we
I
couldn't get an
know.
opportunity to do that.
I kept saying, let's do some Kanye and Jay-Z, man. That would have been
Bro,
the time. Like,
I caved and I looked for it. Like it was just me, Brandon, and Courtney. That was it.
oh, at
There
the
was
very end.
four
Yeah.
people in the room. Everyone was getting drinks, and we were like, "All right, now we can do Kanye." And then we scrolled, and they had nothing, bro. They just had like Donda stuff, and then
that's weird.
that's it.
What the
And I
hell?
was like, "Yeah, it was." They don't have
worst.
any old Kanye. They don't have Flashing Lights. They didn't have Good Morning. They didn't have
They didn't have
Can't Tell Me
Chapel
Nothing.
Roan. They didn't have Sabrina Carpenter. I was like, okay, they had some good throwbacks and stuff, but for a karaoke room, I'm gonna try another place next time. Even though this place like was gorgeous and the drinks were incredible, we'll have to go to another spot.
Yeah, I gotta say, when I was walking downstairs, it felt super fancy. I'm like, damn, am I going to a
Yeah.
club or something? What's going
Yeah.
on? It is no.
I felt out of place. It's definitely a nice spot, but yeah, definitely a lot of fun. Any final thoughts on Sabrina's birthday or something you guys want to give a shout out to for that night?
I just want to say again, I'm happy to be in the same room with you guys, or I was happy at the time, of course, to see you both again. And we just got to do more like that.
Yeah, we got to do it more like that for sure.
Open up ArcLight.
Yeah,
And
and at a
Arclight,
karaoke
man.
bar, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that too.
That would be the best.
Yeah. I swear, man, if they bring back ArcLight, it'll save lives, bro. It'll save lives. It'll save jobs. Like
Good.
come on.
Yeah,
Um,
LA be more sane. I'll say shout out to the chat. Shout out to Joseph Weeks. Joseph Weeks in the chat so far. We have 7 people watching. 7 people watching, but only 4 likes. What's going on, y'all? Let's get those likes up. I want to see all 7 of y'all hit that like button right now. We are live, First Cut Live. You want to see us keep doing this? Hit the like button and join the comment section. Joseph Weeks said no Weird Al songs at karaoke. Nobody sung any Weird Al, but that would have been fun. You know, I don't even know if he has any karaoke songs.
I was never like a Weird Al girly. Like, is that?
Me neither.
I don't know if I know any songs by him.
No.
Yeah, I think you have to be of a certain generation.
Yeah.
But like, right. Oh, sorry. And I was going to say, he also said, are you available to be hired as a wedding singer, Ace?
Definitely not. If you want to hear my voice crack a million times and gas out halfway through the song,
You were so dramatic. Like, you were so good.
it was like way out of my register too. Anyways, moving on, guys. We're moving on to Spider-Man 4 news. We finally have a director for Spider-Man 4. Destin Daniel Cretton, the director of Shang-Chi, is officially attached to direct Spider-Man 4. How are you guys feeling about this news? There's been a lot of reaction to it.
Yeah, I mean, that one gets me really excited. Obviously, Short Term 12 is one of my favorite movies of all time. And when we talk about the Marvel machine, you know, when he did Shang-Chi, I feel like he was still able to bring as much of his own sensibilities as he possibly could to the story. And I think that's really important, especially for this character where we left off Spider-Man. And John Watts just had no sauce whatsoever, like no negative sauce. Those movies were like, they had so much potential to be even better than they were, because I know they are kind of like widely beloved. But imagine if we had a director that could truly add some style, add some sauce into it. And so hopefully I hope Destin Daniel Cretton is able to kind of bring that for Spider-Man 4.
How are you feeling, number 3?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good on my part. It's good. It's good, and it's a little troubling, right? It's good because, you know, I'm glad to see him working. I'm glad that, you know, Shang-Chi was such a hit that they originally hired him to do Avengers Kang Dynasty when it was supposed to be Kang Dynasty. But then after the whole, you know, situation, they changed up the concept. He ended up stepping away from that. I know he's still doing Wonder Man for Marvel with Yahya Abdul-Mateen. The biggest thing I want is a Shang-Chi too. But anyway, he's such a good director. And like you mentioned, Sabrina, Short Term 12 was literally on one of my top films of the last decade, you know, and it broke so many stars. Lakeith Stanfield, Brie Larson, mad stars just ended up, that was like their very first role, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, he was, but and I do like him for Spider-Man 4. There's part of me that does feel like, because I know at one point it was rumored that Sam Raimi might come back to do a Spider-Man 4. I was like, wow, that would have been kind of amazing, because I might be the only person on the planet who likes Multiverse of Madness, and of course his original Spider-Man trilogy is always like top tier in my heart. So I would have loved to see him get one more chance to do Spider-Man. And you know, last but not least, Marvel with Spider-Man directors, at least MCU with Spider-Man directors. I will always recall the story that I heard with John Watts, where it's like, you know, John Watts was in the final interviews to be considered for the Spider-Man directing job back in like 2016 or whatever, or 2015. And then apparently, like the night before the big meeting, like he hung out with a bunch of friends, got super stoned, like came up with a bunch of great like Spider-Man concepts, like story, you know, all these like great ideas and stuff. And then he went into the Marvel meeting the next day, and they're like, okay, so you're hired. Here's the script. Here's the storyboards. Here's the shot list. Here's the actors. All you got to do is, and by the way, the visual effects are done. All you have to do is point the camera. Like, that's basically what like that situation was. And that part of the situation, that gives me a little pause about something like a Destin Daniel Cretton directing it, because it's like, do they already have the movie pre-written out, pre-visual effects, pre-all this before he even steps on board? Is it really even a director's movie at that point? I don't know, you know, but...
I was thinking the exact same thing when you were talking about that. So, you know, I was going to mention that, but I wanted to hear RB3's thoughts first, because yes, you're right. John Watts didn't really have a lot of sauce, but a lot of people didn't remember that the behind the scenes stuff was like one of the most Marvel Studio hands. Basically, it's the most Marvel studio movie ever made, those Spider-Man movies, because they just were so involved to the point that, like you said, RB3, like it was basically point the camera. He didn't really have any creative input inside those movies, and those movies were very much made as the most like cookie cutter studio Marvel. Like Marvel and Sony were like determined to make like the most corporate Spider-Man ever to exist. So yeah, it's definitely not a lack of creativity a lot of the times that they have in the script. And you could see that with No Way Home. No offense. You could see that with pretty much every Spider-Man film and the concept of Spider-Man MCU, which is why they kind of tried to delete it at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. Mm-hmm. And they were just like, yeah, this is done. We're over with that, because it felt weird. It felt out of place to have a Spider-Man be like this inside the MCU. So now we'll see what's going to happen with Destin Daniel Cretton. I'm definitely curious, and I'm sure they're excited because he can direct action really well. But I just don't feel like that's enough to make a good Spider-Man movie. It's like, oh, the action scenes are going to be great. I keep seeing that over and over again on my Twitter feed, and it's like, I don't know if that's enough. People though. You gotta
seen enough of his work though. Like honestly, because like
oh no, yeah, but you got to let him cook though.
Oh no, yeah, I hope they do. I hope they have enough trust in him with his experience working with like Shang-Chi. And I understand the reservations. I don't agree with them at all, but I understand how they have reservations for a character like Spider-Man, who's probably like, I mean, is the most iconic Marvel superhero, especially prior to like, you know, Iron Man really making his mark, or a lot of these other characters. So I get why they think it's precious. But I hope now that we already have so many entries of Tom Holland's, which, by the way, geez, like he's made so many of these damn Spider-Man movies. I just want to see something fresh, honestly. I don't know if I could take another like young, little innocent, naive, like heartbroken Tom Holland performance. I kind of want to see him like, I know this is a different subject, but I really want to see him do something else that's not with the Russo brothers. I know he had that movie like Cherry, or something along those lines. And I did watch Cherry, and he was fine in it. Like he was pretty good. But yeah, I just want to see more. I want to see something new.
He did that church movie with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
I forgot what that was called.
We did a review on the channel for it way back in the day. I remember that.
Yeah. All the time, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
And then he did Uncharted.
Yeah, that's what it was called. Yeah, yeah, or something like that. I forgot. Yeah, yeah. That's what it was. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like he needs to have a little bit more meat to his role. But I know he did well in Spider-Man 3 in No Way Home. But I definitely feel like he needs to do more.
he has great performances in as like the Spider-Man character. Like he does a fantastic job. It's not a shot to that. It's just like I don't want to see the same things play out over and over again. I don't want to see this whole like I just want something. I would honestly have liked to see a different Spider-Man character in live action. Maybe even I know of course we have like the Spider-Verse movies, but like I'd like to see a Miles Morales. I'd like to see somebody else. I just especially after something like No Way Home, I feel like that was a really great bookend to the final chapters of these Peter Parkers that I'm like, okay, I don't want to see any of them ever again. I keep hearing like on Twitter, of course, people are like, I would love to see Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in like this movie or this one. And I'm like, I love Andrew Garfield. We don't need to see his Spider-Man again. But I get it because he's great, but whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of Spider-Man 4, what you guys have enough knowledge, I feel, as far as Rogues Gallery. What character, what villain would you like to see in Spider-Man 4?
Ooh.
I mean,
it could be ally and villain.
For me personally, I just need to see Kingpin. I just want to see a Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio go head to head against Spider-Man. And I know like it's so crazy because I feel like they were going in a really good direction at one point because I remember the rumors were like, oh, it's going to be a street level Spider-Man. It's going to be all about Kingpin and maybe Daredevil shows up and maybe Echo. I'm like, yo, yes. You're like, y'all cooking now. Like just a straight New York set, like no kind of multiverse, no kind of like worldly event, just like straight up New York. Like that would have been amazing. But then, of course, now the thing is, like, apparently it might be set in Battle World and maybe in between, like, Avengers 5 and 6. Like, it might be set in between 5 and 6 or something like that. That's what the rumor is. I don't know if that's true or not.
Battle World?
Yeah, like how, whatever. I'm not going to break down the whole theory, but they say, like, how, like, Loki, how in Loki and then Deadpool and Wolverine, like, the Void, how they have the Void. Apparently that might be like Battle World for Avengers 6 or something like that. That's the rumor. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe I read too much Jeff Snyder. You know what I mean? But
that sounds like hot garbage, bro. Damn. That sounds like the pits of hell, like bottom of the barrel, bro. That's some.
I don't know. That's what they say.
Damn.
That's some creativity, like stat. Like they need to hire like someone that's like young and really ambitious, really talented to just kind of like take some more control. I'm kind of really sick of the whole Russo, Feige, all this of it all.
I mean, Sabrina, like how long has it been since the San Diego Comic-Con announcement? They're doing the opposite of that. They're doubling down on Russo and Feige, and apparently they're doubling down on CGI Fest.
Robert Downey Jr. I still can't get over that. Like I hope I'm corrected wrong because like I want to, when I sit down to watch a movie, I want to watch a good movie. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be negative about it. I don't want to hate on it, but it's just nothing intrigues me about this. Nothing is intriguing me about like the DCU or James Gunn's whatever it's called. But to answer your question, I'd like to see Harry Osborn. I want to see a dynamic with this like Peter Parker and see what they can do differently versus the other kind of iterations that we've had. Because I know like, of course, the Andrew Garfield's, Harry Osborn, Dane DeHaan. I know that character's kind of like panned for the most part, and those movies in general are panned. So like maybe we can do something new with that character with Tom Holland.
Yeah, it's tough because I feel like, did you give an answer, RP3, as far as what villain you would like to see?
Yeah, Kingpin.
Oh, Kingpin, yeah. It's tough. It's tough because I feel like a lot of this classic Spider-Man villains we've seen so many times, right? The really classic ones, Doc Ock, Lizard, Mysterio. Who else have we seen recently? Goblin, obviously, a million times. Yeah. I feel like they've all been Vulture. They've all been done so many times to the point now that maybe, I don't know. Like, I really don't know what we can do next. I know a lot of people have mentioned Black Cat. I feel like that'd be interesting. Because it would be more like it would be more adult, and it would be more like a like anti-hero and not really like super villain trying to destroy the city or something, which is what Black Cat is. So I think that'd be interesting.
I think if we go with like Black Cat, it's Silver Sable, there you go. Kingpin, like again, because honestly, I don't know if y'all played the Spider-Man video games on PS4 or PS5. they is such a good Spider-Man story because it's like it really is. It's not like the end of the world. It's never like the end of the world, but they definitely find a way to make the stakes really high and really personal, while also incorporating like a bunch of villains. Like there's like a bunch of villains in those games, and if they did those games but like just dwindled it down to like 2-3 villains and just made it a simple, Peter Parker / handing it off to Miles Morales story, like I think that's what I would want to see. Just a simple New York set, Spider-Man, Kingpin, all these people, and then at the end start to introduce Miles Morales, as like, oh, this kid's in the background, and maybe eventually start passing that torch over. Like that's what I want to see. If it's anything other than that, it's probably going to be a hot piece of garbage, but I don't know.
I would be 100% on board for something like that, but we know it's not. Like that's the unfortunate. It's like I think the Robert Downey Jr. casting alone really showed us that like their whole thing is like, let's see what worked the best and let's just continue to keep doing that. So it's like everyone loves Robert Downey Jr. Now he's going to play another character. I'm still mind boggled by that news. I hate it so much. And Robert Downey Jr. So
I despised it. Yeah, I was there and I was like, I want to walk out of Hall H. And I felt like walking out. Harvey was right next to me, so he saw my move that day. I don't like it. It just feels like the most scared, most corporate, most like we're catering to all the worst of the fandom when it comes to them being like, we don't want any of these new chicks. We want the old guys. And it's like, all right, we gave you the old guys. Like it feels very much in line with what Lucasfilm is doing too. I don't know. It just feels like a very scared, safe move where they just don't want to explore new characters because they're afraid that people are going to get mad at them and say like, what, who's this? We don't want to see this character. We want to see the same guy over and over again and put him, smash the toys together in a what is it? Battle world? In a battle world. And I'm like, what is that? What the hell is that?
And I think
that does not sound like a movie. Yeah,
and like we've seen kind of like the fallout with something like a Madam Web, which is unfortunate. I feel like a lot of the times when they introduce these types of characters, they just, and I know that's Sony, but of course it's Sony in association with Marvel, but like they just bring nothing. So then it's like, of course audiences are disappointed. Of course we're never going to see these characters again. And then it's just like, okay, well this worked, so let's do this again. We're doing Doctor Doom, and guess who's playing him? The guy we literally just saw save the universe a few movies ago. It's just so unfortunate. But yeah, if they did Black Cat and Silver Sable really well, and like if they brought those characters and actually did it justice, I'd be so on board to see it. I hesitate to see a bad iteration of these characters because we know it kind of like straight away goes to misogyny and bunch of other aspects. So that's my only hesitation with that. But once you said it, I was like, I love this idea that you brought, RB3.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah, I feel like, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you got it. Yeah.
Joseph Week says it in the chat for me. I feel like so many villains are already in the Sonyverse. I think Craven, I've been saying Craven for years, like dead ass for years. I think he'd be a badass villain, just hunting down Spider-Man, torturing him at little places in his life. Like, something like that would be so interesting. And because Craven is so weird and he's not really 100% like, I just want to blow up the city. He's more like a psychotic kind of guy who's hunting down. He does it for fun. I think that would have been cool. But now they're doing the movie. And it feels like same with Venom. Venom would have been an interesting aspect to Spider-Man that we've seen so many times in animated shows and animated stories and in comics. Now that we see Tom Hardy, I don't know, dancing and eating a lobster. It doesn't feel like it'll work ever inside that universe.
It's funny though. Like, even though like you said, those are iconic villains, like definitely Craven and definitely Venom. In my mind, like I've always felt they're a little bit one note. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially Craven is like his only motivation is just, oh, let me just hunt to have fun. Oh, I'm just going to hunt. I'm going on a hunt. And it's like, okay, this is cool, but like, what's the stakes? Like, how do you build something around that? And then how do you get away with doing that? And to me, the biggest thing would be, how do you get away with doing that in New York City when there's not just Spider-Man, but like 100 other superheroes like kind of living there too? You know what I mean? Maybe he's hunting down other heroes too. Maybe that could be the thing. But
that'd be cool.
It could be cool. But yeah, Venom, they definitely killed that possibility. I think anything that we've seen in Spider-Man, like live, in the Sony verse, is not going to come in this one.
I love Madam Web from the comics, right? And from the animated show. And I thought she would have been great, but that Madam Web movie is not it.
Yeah.
So.
The casting on that one alone, I feel like, well, with like Dakota Johnson, because I really, really adore her in some films like, Cha Cha Real Smooth, things like that. But I just couldn't see her as a character like this. I couldn't see her potentially and even interacting with Tom Holland Spider-Man, even if this movie was fantastic. It just feels like it is a whole nother world when it comes to those Venoms, the upcoming Craven, Madam Web, to Tom Holland Spider-Man. And now the world is so expansive with possibilities, and it's almost like their ideas were so big that now we have no ideas. There's no way to contain it. So yeah, we shall see.
We shall see. Shout out Tom Holland.
Shout out the chat too. Jedi Mike is in the chat.
Yo,
congratulations, Jedi Mike. Just hit 1,000 subscribers too. Congratulations, Jedi Mike. Unhealthy Vegan says short-term 12 is great, so I am excited. Absolutely, same here. Joseph Weeks said, how will Captain Marvel fit into the story? Brie Larson has been in every one of his movies. That's a good question. Maybe. That'd be cool. That'd be actually really cool. And MK Songbird said, hello, hope y'all are doing well. We hope you're doing well too. Sorry, one more just came in from Star Drew, said Madam Web should have been more of a horror story. I agree. And in fact, so much so when me and Jason, me and my girlfriend watched it on Netflix, I was literally like halfway through. I'm like, I'm scared. I'm kind of scared. Like, aren't you a little scared? Like, especially when the crow was like hitting the window mad times. And there was just mad things I was like, this is kind of scary. This could have been a horror movie, but it wasn't.
They should back Topher Grace to play Venom in this universe. He needs to. He prayed. He was the biggest hater. This is what I aspire to be as a hater. I aspire to be on that level of hater where you go to church and you pray to kill someone. That's crazy. That's crazy. I loved it.
That's such a wild scene. That's such a Sam Raimi scene, though. I feel like so specific to Sam Raimi that I don't think anyone else can do that. Shout out Sam Raimi, man. I still feel like his trilogy is the shit. It's the best.
Oh, of course.
We're moving on, guys. We're going to talk about Beetlejuice, which made 110 opening this weekend, a really, really good amount, to be honest. And I have seen the movie. I want to get your thoughts, obviously, on the box office, but also overall thoughts on the film. RP3.
Well, I have also not seen the movie.
There you go.
Yeah, I might peep it maybe tonight. I don't know.
Have you seen it, Sabrina?
Nope. I was.
Damn.
I know. I was busy with birthday planning, and then I was scrolling through TikTok. This is so crazy. But a live popped up for a second, and it was the full Beetlejuice movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I see those a lot.
I'm not gonna pull an Andres and watch this on my laptop or watch this on my phone.
I've never done that. I've never watched a movie on my phone in my life.
Okay, but you did laptop. What was the one?
That's a laptop, though.
That's still.
It was Hitman. It was literally a Netflix movie.
Yeah, you're wrong for that. So I'm not gonna pull a you. I'm not gonna watch on my phone. So I scrolled away really quickly, but like, it's just so insane that a movie could come out and like 2 days later, it's already on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole different conversation. I feel like TikTok posts movies all the time. I've seen so many movies on there. It's not even funny. I always scroll away. Obviously, I don't want to see a movie like that. That's super bizarre. But the fact that Tim Burton is still around and is making hit movies, and apparently this movie did super freaking well. I'm low-key kind of shocked. I don't know how you guys feel about the box office.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's the second biggest opening weekend after Alice in Wonderland. So I really, and then Alice in Wonderland opens to 116 opening weekend. And yeah, so he, definitely, when he gets into the sequel/remake bag, he's definitely going to be a hit maker, for sure. And I think definitely it's the audience appeal. It's the same thing we saw with Top Gun Maverick, I think last year or the year before. It's just the nostalgia factor. You know what I mean? People in the 80s was like been waiting for this movie. And thank God Jenna Ortega is as big of a star as she is too, because she definitely helped also elevate that movie to the biggest level. I mean, apparently also Wednesday was one of the highest streamed shows in like Netflix history. So it's like, Jenna Ortega is like a huge star for a lot of people, and seeing her team up with Tim Burton was probably just enough for people to buy tickets outside of the Beetlejuice name. So, you know.
Go ahead, Sabrina.
I forget that Jenna Ortega started off on Disney, and I'm pretty sure she was on a show with like Jake Paul, which is just crazy. I feel like she has the best like career switch up where like I don't even remember that she was a Disney kid. So yeah, so she has like Gen Z on lock. They will be streaming, and she has me. I think she is an absolutely like just super talented powerhouse performer in everything I see her in. Just I think her presence adds so much. And yeah, I think they were able to hit, like you said, every single demographic where you have people that are coming into this with nostalgia. We have people that checked out the film for the first time, and it kind of fits like a lot of what we see online from some younger kids, like really cool aesthetics, the interesting themes. I'm not even the biggest fan of Beetlejuice, but this definitely made me go back and rewatch it. I've never saw the appeal of like why people were so nostalgic for it. I think it was just, it was before our time. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for this one. I did have tickets on Thursday. I was just very sleepy from planning karaoke and all of the above, so I didn't end up going. But yeah, I'll be checking it out.
Yeah, a lot of it definitely is the sequel love and the legacy sequel type stuff. Like you said, RB3 nostalgia. This is something that Hollywood keeps tapping into. And they keep saying, like, let's just keep doing it until it stops making money. And it just doesn't stop making money, at least for these kind of movies. And I definitely feel like that's a part of it. I also feel like you nailed it, RB3, with Jenna Ortega, because I do feel like it's so fun, like, how big Wednesday is. Like, it's insane. RB3, like you were saying, like it's legitimately like the amount of people that have seen Wednesday, it's insane. And that's how they Jenna Ortega. Like if you ask them like, you like Jenna? Yeah, where do you know her from? Most people will say Wednesday. And I think that's kind of an insane act as far as how quickly something can become a hit. And it can just become a hit off vibes and off like, I don't know if you guys have seen Wednesday, but that kind of style as far as like teenage high school kind of gothic kind of horror spooky vibes, and kind of really goofy as well. And the fact that quickly becomes a hit and just skyrockets Jenna Ortega to like ultra fame, and she can open movies with 110 million open, that's a massive hit.
I also think Wednesday, because she already kind of established herself. It wasn't as big, of course, as it is right now. But she did like Scream and she did X. And I think a lot of young people, and then again, her being Disney, a lot of Gen Z people have seen her on Disney. And then so they're just kind of following her, and she gives these really great performances. So I think she also elevated Wednesday. I don't think Wednesday elevated her.
No, I totally agree. And I feel like the casting is just so spot on. For a lot of reasons. Obviously, when they first announced that Wednesday was going to feature the first time ever it's going to feature a Latina as a lead in the film, the show, I felt like that was very important too, because shout out, if you guys have ever been to high school, shout out to all my goth Latinos out there. Gothic Latinos are real, and there's a lot of them.
I was one.
There you go. And I feel like a lot of people felt seen with Wednesday, and I feel like that matters. I really do, and I'm not even joking. The fact that Jenna can hit that Latina market and have this aesthetic, this feel, this vibe of this gothic looks, spooky looks, especially around this time period that we're now in, which is September-ish, which is getting closer to spooky season, October. So I do feel like all those factors combining together really does matter to make such a massive hit over this weekend.
Yeah, and I think it's also too, it's definitely the Jenna Ortega, and yeah, like you said, Sabrina, Scream was definitely like, I think for me that's where I first met her, and then X as well. But then Tim Burton of it all too. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that it's the original director of the original Beetlejuice, also bringing back Michael Keaton, also bringing back Winona Ryder. The fact that it's like not just like, it doesn't just feel like, oh, this is a sequel, but it's like a cash grab, like, and they're just kind of getting it. It kind of legitimately felt, at least from the marketing, it felt like, oh, everybody wanted to be back and everybody was like excited to be back. So I think that's the biggest part of it. My favorite part of the press run is Winona Ryder basically trash talking all of her Stranger Things castmates and being like, oh, nobody really watches movies. Jenna Ortega, such a genius because she really watches movies. Anybody else, all these young kids I work with don't watch anything. I'm just like, Jesus, why is she so mad at Millie Bobby Brown? Like, why? She like Kendrick, but she going at Millie Bobby Brown harder than Kendrick going at Drake. Like, what's going on? Like,
Yo, if there's one thing that Winona Ryder does not play about, it's cinema. She loves movies, and yeah, I think two was kind of the perfect era because on TikTok, again, talking about Gen Z, I always go back to like my like marketing brain. There are so many trends on TikTok surrounding Tim Burton as like a brand almost, not even just like his film. It's like I'm Tim Burton-fying myself or whatever. And you do your makeup like his characters. There are filters that are like Tim Burton filters. So yeah, it's just the aesthetic, the nostalgia. Jenna Ortega, Winona Ryder is also really popular, of course, like after Stranger Things. But a lot of people have gone back and like watched her films like Heathers and all of the above, and she's been.
That's what I was gonna say. Do you think she's mad that Millie Bobby Brown said she didn't like Heathers? I wonder if Millie Bobby Brown might have heard my take on Heathers and then might have repeated it to Winona Ryder, and maybe I made Winona Ryder mad. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
There you go, man. You're the origin of all this.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Heathers. Yeah, I think that's a really bad movie, actually. That's my opinion.
Damn, bro.
Something we need to unpack at a later date.
Right. I'm down for that.
Yeah. I haven't heard any of this stuff, so this is all new to me. I just think it's wild. The fact that Stranger Things 5, I think is what it's called, is going to be wild. I don't know. Whenever it comes out, it's definitely going to have a lot of conversation around it because of so much stuff that's going on behind the scenes, and the fact that this story feels like I just know where it's going to go. So I'm definitely curious to see how it all ends because it's such a popular show. But now let's move on before we get you out of here, Sabrina, to your reaction to Michael B. Jordan directing Thomas Crown Affair. Yeah. What is this?
I mean, it's a classic movie. I mean, what's a classic?
I've never seen it.
They had one version in 1968 that starred Steve McQueen and I believe Faye Dunaway.
Oh, no way.
So very iconic cast in the original 1968 film, and they remade it in 1998 with who's in the 1998 version?
Is it Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah. Oh, okay, Pierce Brosnan. Oh, okay, Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a very iconic kind of piece of cinema, and I think it's very interesting that Michael B. Jordan, he was originally just going to star in it and produce it, but now he's taking over the directorial duties as well. So. Very cool to see him diversifying his career choices because, you know, you think you see something like Creed and you think, oh, he's just going to stick to like Creed movies or like bigger budget action movies. But the fact that he's kind of going for like this like Oscar Wilde style kind of comedy, you know, / mystery thing is I'm glad to see him diversify. I'm really excited about it.
What do you think, Sabrina?
100%. I think he's really talented. I think seeing him kind of like all across the board, he just gets it. I think the performances and the directors that he's worked with, you know, Ryan Coogler, all of the above, I think he has like taken in so much for himself and he's able to bring that out in the director's chair. So really excited for that. And then I think, is the film kind of, I've never seen it. I've been meaning to watch them. But is it kind of like a neo-noir type of film almost? I love neo-noir, so I'm absolutely sold on this. I think Michael B. Jordan too is the perfect protagonist for neo-noir. So charming, so good, able to convey so much emotion. So I'm really, really excited for this, like, I guess, remake. Yeah,
it'd definitely be interesting to see. Yeah, go ahead, everything.
And there's definitely like some elements of comedy in there too. So I'm very curious to see like how he handles we like interweaving all that. But like you said, Sabrina, it's like a mystery. The whole general plot, according to IMDb, is a rich and successful playboy amuses himself by stealing artwork, but may have met his match in a seductive detective. So I wonder, is he playing the detective? Is he playing the actual playboy? You know what I mean? Like which part?
Detective.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. You know, so it could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he'll be the guy stealing the art, but
He has the vibe. He has the perfect vibe for like a playboy type of character. Like, I think this is definitely very up his alley.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely curious to see this one. Sabrina, I know you got to take off. So, any final words you want to say?
Um, Thank you guys all again for the birthday wishes online, in person, all of the above. It was a great time. So here's to the next year of First Cut, and I'm excited for everything we got going on.
Awesome.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. Appreciate your time and appreciate you saying those kind words. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. All right, RB3. Last thing on our docket is Rebel Ridge, this new Netflix movie that has been low-key kind of breaking records as well as far as movies go, or as far as new releases go. We got the chance to check this out over the weekend, and we got the chance to give our thoughts now. RB3, what did you think of Rebel Ridge and what has become of this movie?
I liked it. I'm setting up the camera stuff a little bit, so apologies if I'm looking elsewhere. But yeah, I enjoyed Rebel Ridge quite a bit. It was a thrilling movie that did a phenomenal job of addressing the injustices in our society in terms of policing, in terms of the justice system in general, while also somehow finding a way to make a thrilling action movie out of it. I applied in a lot of ways. I love Aaron Pierce. I mean, I'm a big fan of Aaron Pierce, man. I mean, I've been hyping up Genius, MLK, and X all year, and he did a phenomenal job playing Malcolm X in that show. He's a phenomenal actor. I can't wait to see him and Calvin Harrison Jr. play opposite of each other again in Mufasa. And I believe there was another big name actor who was originally attached to play this character.
John Boyega.
John Boyega, yeah. Which is so funny. So funny that Aaron Pierce ended up replacing John Boyega for this movie because John Boyega replaced Jonathan Majors for another like indie movie that came out a couple years ago called Break. So it's crazy. I love it though. I love it, and I didn't love the movie. I thought it was imperfect in some ways. I thought some of the characters were like whatever. But I thought, yeah, overall, I dug it, and I'm glad Netflix made it, and I can see why it has so much appeal with people.
Yeah, let me know, what are those, before I get to my thoughts, what are those criticisms?
Just a, generic like white woman, coming in to like help save him. He seemed like he had no other option until she came in. But to be fair, like he did most of the work himself. So it's like I'm not too mad at that. And then I think there were, I mean, I don't know, it was going, and then I'm like, Don Johnson was really getting evil, and it was about to get cooking. I'm like, oh, we're about to see one more show off when they're in the car. And okay, actually, let me not say anything further, but yeah, okay. Yeah, it just ends in a way that's like, I thought there was going to be a little bit more, but it wasn't. But it was cool, though, because we're already at the 2 hours and 10 minute mark. So I was like, if they kept it going, it might have been stretching it, but I don't know.
I wonder if we have the same thoughts at the end, because I really enjoyed this movie, and I was enjoying it the whole time. I felt like it was well directed, well done, well acted. Aaron Pierre, is that Pierre or Pierce?
It might be Pierre. Let me see.
Pierre is like doing a great performance in it. We're learning about stuff. Like I love learning, and I love trying to catch up with law stuff and like lingo talk. I'm a big fan of that kind of style of, the Aaron Sorkin fast talking business stuff or law stuff that he does in his movies. I've always been a big fan of that. So the fact that we're getting that in the middle of like kind of this tense action thriller, I don't want to call it necessarily an action. It's more of like a thriller. But it has some action elements to it, obviously. But the ending low-key kind of took me out. It felt weird. And I know what scene you're referencing. I don't know if you felt the same way as far as why it felt weird to me, but it felt weird. It felt super weird to me. It felt like the movie turned into a completely different movie in the last 5-10 minutes with the solution that was presented to Aaron Pierre's character. as far as the cops being like, "We got you, bro." I was like, "What?" This whole movie we've been fighting these dudes. It just felt weird to me. It just felt weird. I don't know, RB3. Maybe that's just me, but I tweeted this out. A lot of people got mad at me. But I just felt like the ending felt so out of place and so forced as far as trying to make it like this uplifting, not all kind of mentality. I don't know. Maybe that's the way you feel. Maybe it's something different.
So I feel like we can't really have this conversation without getting into spoiler territory. So for
you're right.
The 7 people watching, hey yo, shout out Star Drew. I didn't even see your comments coming through, my man. Thank you, Star Drew. We left a lot of good ones. Hitman was an okay movie. Mario, Top Gun, and Beetlejuice nostalgia hits, absolutely. Heathers is a bomb that wants to burn the school with Gen Z vibes. I agree. I don't like that movie. Tim Burton trivia tonight by me. Oh yeah, thank you, Joseph Weeks. He said, Andres, watch the Pierce Brosnan version of the Thomas Crown Affair. And so, I guess, sorry, what was I saying?
To the 7 people you're about to spoil.
To the 7 people who are watching. Yeah, sorry. To the 7 people who are watching, please, we're about to spoil this movie. So just be mindful. Click off now. Click off now. Spoiler territory in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you're talking about at the very, very end of the movie when they're driving away and then the guy is about to pull up behind them and he ends up getting ran by the lady cop, by Jessica, right?
Yes.
And then they are like, oh, it's actually we're gonna call it like a police escort because the state troopers are there. Yeah. I mean, it didn't feel like out of place. What'd you tweet? I didn't even see your tweet. What'd you tweet?
I mean, if you want to see my tweet, I don't know, man. It might be too fire for this show.
It
just felt curious. It like the fact that we spent this entire film breaking down the corruption of this police department and police departments in general, and the complicity. This is literally, I'm quoting my tweet, the complicity of people who just go along with it, and the fact that lady kept saying like, "You guys are the same part of the problem. You guys are just as bad," and then the fact that we get the one good cop guy be like, "Oh, I'm gonna help you guys out," and then they rammed the chief of police, and then the guy over the radio says like, "We got him. We got the bad guy. We got the one bad guy, the one bad apple." And I'm just like, what? The premise of the movie was that the corruption runs deep. It's not just one bad apple. And the fact that he says like, "Oh, we got the bad guy. We got your back, man." And I was like, do you?
No. He didn't say we got your back. They never said that.
They said, bro, they literally gave him an escort to the hospital, and I was like, "What is this?"
I felt like that was giving the cop. I felt like that was giving the cop who was shot the escort.
This guy was just fighting freaking body chopping cops and throwing them out windows like 5 seconds ago.
Right.
It felt like, what do you mean we got the bad guy? We got the bad guy. You guys are all bad guys.
Oh no! Okay. I see what you're going with this. I have to rewatch the ending now because I didn't take it that far. I definitely was like
the entire movie. We're talking about corruption and how it runs deep and how the system is just so filled with people who are complicit and culpable with this shit. And the fact that you're painting it all on the chief of police as like, this is the one bad apple, when in reality, like, all these guys are a part of it and they're all watching it happen. And they're cool with it. They're fine with it. And then all of a sudden it's like, we got him. We caught the bad guy. The one bad guy. Chief of police is out. The system is fixed. We did it.
I am going to have to rewatch that.
Cop saved the day. Okay. And I was like, what?
No. Don't do that. That's not what the movie was saying. Bro. No, that's not what happened. That's not what he saved his own day. He proved the corruption and he was able to prove it out. The reason why they couldn't keep going after him is because he passed the city limits. They're like, oh, it's state trooper territory now. We're going to get you to the state troopers, which they said the state troopers were trying to get rid of him the whole time. They just couldn't figure out how. It's because of Aaron Pierre's. They was able to get him out of that. Now, what I will say, like you're right, like it definitely presents. Because you're saying what you're saying is like everybody in the police outfit was good except for the one chief. That's what that's what you're saying the movie's implying. I kind of don't think that at all. I kind of think everybody in the police office was bad. Everybody was really trash. The one informant was probably the black lady, but she was too scared to act, which to me that's just as bad too. But you know, they're all acting the same way homegirl, the white chick, was acting, as if, yeah, we gotta keep our jobs. Yeah, we gotta keep our heads low. Yeah, we gotta, like, you know, do that. And unfortunately, you know, that is to one extent or another humanizing the cops, but that is also kind of exactly what complacency is. That kind of is like the moral bad part about being a human in the position of like a capitalist world where you got to survive with a job. Yeah,
but when your job is actively harming people, it just feels like, and it's supposedly supposed to be serve and protect.
Okay, but also too,
that's very different than like another job. Like it's another corporate job. This is different.
Trust me, if you talk to cops, like they will be like, it's my life or his. Like that's literally the only thing that their morality is. You know what I mean? And
I understand, but that's not the whole point of the movie. Is that it's not good.
Yeah, and it's not good. You're right. But yeah, that's the nature of being a law enforcement officer, like in the world. And I think, you know, I had a point. I think when you're saying like when you say that they are implying that he's the one bad apple, I just can't see it that way, because we're literally, the first scene is him getting beat up by two cops. Like, in every subsequent scene, pretty much everybody has their guns drawn at him. The only time that
but that's what I'm saying, though. I agree. I feel like the movie is not saying that, but then by the end they're implying that by saying like that we caught the bad guy. We caught the bad guy. There he is, the chief of police. He's the bad guy. And I'm like, no, they're all bad. Every single one of them.
I don't think they're saying. I don't think it says they're not bad. Like I don't know. I don't think it says they're not bad. I think they're saying the one cop who decided to help out, the one white guy at the very end who decided to help, he didn't help because he was like feeling some sort of like great overcoming like moral revolution. He was feeling guilty about, like I don't want to kill this innocent black guy, even though like we just killed his cousin inadvertently. I'm just gonna like finally take a stand to this police officer to the police chief dude, and then he ends up getting shot because of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, if anything, I felt like the movie was saying, yo, there's only one or two good cops in this whole police station. And it finally took like this black, crazy, militant dude to come in and unravel the whole situation for people to start realizing that. So I don't know. That's the way I saw it. But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like it would have worked better for me if they didn't have to have some sort of police intervention save the day. I just felt like that specifically felt so out of place to me. Like it felt so out of pocket to have, you know, dead ass cops in cars ram over the other guy and be like, "We got your back." And I'm like, I don't know. It didn't sit right with me. It felt like if he would have.
That really adds a whole
they
different
literally
level to
were
it.
like, we're gonna escort you to the hospital. We got you. Like something like that. Whatever it was.
That's different than we got your back, bro. I'm telling you this. That's different. That's very, very different. It's like we're escorting you because we have to escort you because at this point we're gonna get in trouble for not escorting you. Versus, we got you, man. Oh, you're good now. Oh, it's, you know, like, we've really been on your side the whole time. No cop said that. I guarantee you, no cop said that.
They escorted him to the hospital. I don't know. It just felt like, to me, if we would have had him somehow just not have the help of them, if any of them, I just didn't want any of them to help him. If it was just the one guy in the backseat that was bleeding out, that's fine, or in the front seat, that would have been fine to me. But the fact that you had the cars come in and them escort them, it's very much like, you know, let's all get along, let's all hold hands, you know, we can work through this and make it out okay. And I don't know, I felt like the whole point of the movie was telling you like, this is so deep and corrupt that there is no holding hands, there is no, safe way out of this. And there is, I mean, the whole premise of the film, I feel like the whole hour and 45 or hour and 50 is kind of letting the audience know that this shit runs deep. And the fact that these people are so complicit in it makes them just as culpable and makes them just as wrong as the top guy or as anyone else accepting these bribes and this money and this, all the schemes that they were running. It just felt very much like I wish it wouldn't have to have that kind of intervention, but that's just me. Shout out to Dor in the chat. I haven't seen Dor in a minute, so I don't know if she's still here.
Dor in the chat. Hold up. Hey, look. It sounds a little like LA Confidential said Drew Star. Yeah, I love LA Confidential. I think that's just I don't know, man. I mean, I literally just watched it today, and the way you're talking about it, I'm like, do I need to watch this again? Did I miss something? Because I definitely felt like the car ramming, like the cop car ramming into the SUV. To me, I internalized that more as like a story problem. Like, oh, they may have like ran out of budget, or the writer just ran out of things to write. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it did just feel like, all right, we gotta wrap this up. Let's go. I
felt that too, but I felt that along with like the whole like police escort thing and the whole like running the lights. You
don't think the police were escorting the other police officer who got shot? Like they're not looking out for their brother in blue to be like, hey, let's make sure you get to the hospital safe now that we're not chasing you anymore. That's how I took it. But
maybe, but even then, it. I don't know, man. I mean, the fact that they were gonna kill this guy anyways. I mean, they spent like the last half of the film trying to kill this guy. They could just chop it up to, killed in action. It just, I just don't see that much heart. I just don't see that much heart behind it.
Yeah, I mean,
the fact that they would do that, I just kind of feel like they'd be like, yo, this guy's kidnapping him, shoot him or ram his car over. Like, fuck him. Like I don't know. I just don't see them being that kind-hearted and being like, we'll give you an escort to the hospital. I mean, we know you're doing the right thing by helping our brother. And it's like,
no, you gotta understand. They had tried killing this man so many times up until this point in the movie. They've literally tried at least.
All they have to do is ram his car.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, I think
all they had to do was like bump his car. He would have been out. Because the tire was blown out and shit.
So. Oh, the Chief's guy?
No, the guy, the Aaron Pierre. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, I mean they could have, but then that's a tragic ending. I don't want to see the movie ending with like him getting shot by the police. Like I don't want that at all. Like, are you kidding me? That's the last thing I want to see.
That's the thing. But that's why I kind of felt it in the film, where I kind of felt like the movie kind of like was like, all right, now what? And then they were like, I guess he dies? I don't know. Like, there's no way out of this. And then they came up with the whole, like, the car rams into him and they escort him to the hospital. Like, it just felt very much like the film was leading in a direction where it would have been a final show off or some sort of final confrontation. And then suddenly they ran out of, like, ideas as far as, like, wait a minute, do we want this movie to end in a somber note or do we want it to end on an uplifting note? And they chose uplifting, which felt, again, very out of place to me because it felt like we were heading down this path of inevitable confrontation, inevitable, like, head-to-head, whatever that means or whatever that is. It could be tragic, like you said. But they said, oh, we should probably do an uplifting ending version to this movie. And that's where they ended up with that finale, which that's why for me, those last 10 minutes felt like, or 5 minutes, like they just said, you know what? Cops escort him. We caught chief of police. That's all that matters. And that's why to me, that whole like wrap it up, the mentality of those final 5 minutes felt out of place to me. I don't know. That's just me, though. Obviously, that's just me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that one because I have to rewatch it. Yeah, I will say
because the whole scene too is like the music, the tension is all building up to like dun 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 dun. Oh, we all his tire's out. We're gonna do the hip maneuver or whatever they call it. It's like we got him now. He's done with, and the music's like, and then. Like the Star Wars song comes up and it's like, there's more of us, Lando. we got your back. And it's like they're flying.
You
And I was
keep
like,
going till we got your back. See, if that quote is not exactly in the movie, I'm gonna be real mad at you, bro.
yeah, but bro, they literally said,
you.
we'll escort you and we caught the bad guy. And I was like, what?
I don't know, man. I
We
mean,
were just trying to ram this guy like 5 seconds ago, bro. I don't know.
Yeah,
It just.
yeah, it's just, it's the thing, man. I mean, like there's a, I mean, look, we're on the left, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of us on the left like to use the all cops are bad terminology.
Yeah,
no, people done tuned out by this point. Look, as people on the left, we often like to say all cops are bad. And I love that. I get it, you know what I mean? Because it gets the message across in a very potent way. But it's also, and I want to sound self-defeating here, but it's also just not true either. You know what I mean? Like, not every single cop is bad. And I would say maybe like
I wouldn't
70,
say that's
80% of them are pretty bad. But then again, one of my best homies, friend, his cop's a dad. You know what I'm saying? Another person who I work with.
But that's the issue, RB3. I think that's the issue, is not necessarily that the individuals are bad. I feel like the system has always been in a manner of which it's not necessarily saying that guy's a bad cop, that guy's a bad cop, that guy's a good cop. It's more about saying this whole system is just rigged. It just doesn't work.
That's what the movie was
saying.
saying.
That's what the movie was saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I felt like the movie was saying, hey, even if this guy is trying to help out, it doesn't matter because he's outnumbered. He's screwed anyways because his system's already corrupt and they're going to cover it up because they have a way to cover it up. And this is what cops do. They cover it up because they can cover it up. And I feel like that ending kind of undercuts it a little bit for me. For me, it just, I mean, obviously anyone can have a different opinion. Obviously I'm definitely in the minority, but I just feel like if the point of the movie is that this system doesn't work, having the police escort and having the ramming up the chief of police and calling it in like we caught him, it felt very much like you're undercutting your own theme of the film as far as saying this system just doesn't work and it just doesn't benefit people like Aaron Pierre's character, and it doesn't benefit people like the white lady who was helping him. It doesn't help them at all. It wouldn't help them. It just doesn't benefit them. And then having them escort him and then take out the chief of police like it's some heroic move, it felt very much like it was undercutting its own premise as far as saying this whole system runs deep and is corrupt. So I don't know. That's just me. It's not necessarily me saying that the movie is bad. It's more saying like the movie was saying something the whole movie, and then the last 5 minutes they were like, well, you never know what can happen. Instead of saying like, instead of doubling down on it and being like, this is whack. That's the whole point of the movie, is like, this is whack. And this is wild. So yeah, I don't know. That's just me. That's just, again, it's just me. It's just me. I still loved the directing. I still love the cinematography. The act is really good. The fast talking, lawyer speak was really cool. The way they explained the whole 90 days in prison and getting money from people who don't have enough crimes to last in prison that long. All of that stuff is just top-notch kind of stuff that I feel like is beneficial to people watching it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm so sorry. Somebody in the chat just said new Kendrick dropped, and I gotta fact check this real quick.
Yeah.
New Kendrick. Wait, where did Kendrick drop? Hey, let me know. Film freak. Anyway, dude, yeah, I mean, I'm just happy that we're getting like black-led movies on Netflix. Like past 2 weeks, The Deliverance was #1 previously, and then now Rebel Ridge is #1, so that's cool.
Which was Deliverance? Can you tell me that?
Deliverance is the new Lee Daniels movie starring Andre Day, Glenn Close. Yeah, might have that one might have gone #1 for the wrong reasons. But with me and the homie John Marin, we recorded a whole podcast breaking down the full film, like in pretty excruciating detail. So much detail, in fact, that YouTube, I've been trying to upload this thing since yesterday, and YouTube is literally blocked all 3 of my attempts to try to upload this. I tried to upload it yesterday, then they blocked it. Then I edited it again, tried to upload it again, blocked it again. And then right before our live, I tried to upload a new one again, and it got blocked again. So I don't know. I guess YouTube doesn't really want us to talk about this movie, Deliverance. But the episode will see the light of day, and it's also live on Spotify and Apple Music right now. Spotify and Apple Podcasts right now, if you want. So
make sure you guys check out Real Ones for sure. Yeah, shout out Imperial, man. Underground Railroad. He was in Old as well.
Yeah, Miss Sai Sedan. He's playing Miss Sai Sedan in that movie. It's
that's
hilarious.
Miss Sai, yeah.
And then but yeah,
homie's big, bro. He's MLK, yeah.
He's British.
Homie's
too.
a big dude.
Yeah,
he's British. Yeah, same as John Boyega. They wanted a British black guy, and they said British black guy only.
Right. Yeah, for this American part.
Real quick before we take off RB3, because I know we got to take off. Make sure you guys tune in to Sabak the Black. It's coming up in just a little bit. But before we take off RB3, last thing I have for you, I already told you guys last week, I'm in the DC world right now. And I don't know if you've been following DC casting, but the Lanterns HBO show is trying to cast it's Jon Stewart. And apparently this is based off you know who, Snyder. The final two guys to play Jon Stewart is Aaron Pierre, this guy, and homie from Snowfall, the lead of Snowfall.
Oh, David Diggs?
Is that who it is? Snowfall? The Snowfall guy?
The TV Snowfall, right? Yeah, David Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, homie from Hamilton and all that, yeah.
No, Snowfall. Are you sure?
Snowfall. Damtress Idris or something. like that.
Damson Idris.
Damson Idris. I thought you said
Snowpiercer.
I thought you meant Snowpiercer. I don't know why I was mixing up Snowpiercer.
I was like, what? David Diggs. Who would you want as your Jon Stewart? And it's funny. It's also two British black guys again.
Right. That's funny. I like Aaron Pierce, man. I like Aaron Pierre.
Okay.
He's just.
Have you seen Snowfall?
I saw first 2 seasons, and he's good. I'm always gonna be biased against this dude now because the one role I really did see him in was Swarm on Amazon Prime. I don't know if you saw Swarm. But he has a now iconic opening scene where he's like dogging down Chloe Bailey, you know what I'm saying? And just watching that image just always made me forever hate this dude. You know what I mean? Like, oh nah, man, I can't watch this dude anything. Apparently he's in the new Brad Pitt movie FS1 as well, and that's gonna be really dope. Yeah. But I can't not look at this dude with a straight face no more. Maybe I'll watch Snowfall all the way through.
Yeah, you're right, bro. F this dude. Chloe Bailey does not. No, come on now. All right, guys, that ends our show for today.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Film Freak. Where'd that new Kendrick drop? Where'd you go? Tell me where the Kendrick drop.
He's just talking, bro. There's no way there's a new Kendrick.
Nah, man.
Have you typed it into Google at least? Like,
I tried Google. I tried Apple Music. I tried YouTube. I ain't seeing nothing, man. Like, come on, where's that new Kendrick? Yeah, man. I mean, hey, look. Hey, I'm looking forward to Super Bowl next year with Kendrick performing.
Big as the what?
Big as the Super Bowl. Yeah. And hopefully he'll bring out Lil Wayne too. So
come along, children. Now we're going to have
that'd be awesome for sure. Yeah. Oh, I see it now. It's on Twitter. Shout out Twitter. We have the new Kendrick. I see it. It has a poster of 2 shoes on it. Okay. But congrats to Lamar for bringing that Super Bowl. Hopefully he sing a song and he won't be censored. Either way, guys, that was First Cut Live. Make sure you follow me at SquadLeaderAce RB3.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Director RB3, and I'm about to be streaming this song later tonight.
Awesome, guys. Alrighty, guys, make sure you guys tune into Sabak the Block going live in about 45 minutes. So in 45 minutes, tune into Sabak the Block, everyone that's right here. So either way, guys, for the First Cut crew, we're going to be peace and hustle. Peace, deuces. Damn, bro.